no place on earth. Some say to survive it, you need to be as mad as a hatter.
What's going on, people? What's going on, people? Welcome back to the Madhatterrant media channel, the #1 UK podcast here that was kicking off for the Manosphere up here in the UK and all around the world. What's going on, family? I hope you've had a good weekend. The sun's been shining and some lockdown rules have been lifted off. So, hey, what's going on? What time is it? You know what? If you're listening, if you're out there, tune in, because this is a safe space that we want to gain, cultivate, grow positive outcomes for the male perspective. And guys, do we have a doozy for you today? But before I get into today's video, guys, of course, you know what time it is. This is the Madhatterrant media channel, and it's all going to be insane over here. We're going to be taking a look at Kevin Samuels and one of the conversations that he had with a modern black woman over there in the United States of America, and I'm going to be reviewing that video. So we jump in and let's have a conversation. Let's have a talk. Leave your comments down below in the chat, of course. And for all those people who have just joined us who are new to the podcast, we're trying to get the podcast to grow. You know what I'm saying? So definitely show your support. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification, guys, so that you can be kept up to date when I'm dropping these podcasts, because right now I'm going to be throwing them out as and when they come. Right? I hope you're liking the music as well. But that's all been said. That's all been great. That's all been established and accomplished. We're gonna get into today's video. We're gonna get into today's conversation, guys. I have to say, guys, I have to give my hats off to my main man Rick James, because he is, by all intents and purposes,
my nigga.
He is, because he's definitely repping it out there for the men. He's definitely looking for some positive outcomes for the men out there, brothers. And I will definitely say that him and a few other podcasters, a few other, gentlemen that's in the Manosphere area, the Manosphere field, who are definitely doing the work and putting in that grind, and who have definitely been an inspiration to some of us who over here who have been out here doing, thinking about doing the work and doing the work. So big shout out to those guys. But again, fellas, this is not going to be political. We've had to change tack. We've had to change the way we do things on the channel, because YouTube has shut it down. They're not having a bar of it. It is a complete lockdown. So in that sense, in that regard, with that smoke, I can't be here in a good faith, I just leave the channel to go dead. So I've had to revive the channel, and we've had to put it in a different way, in a different light, a different perspective. So what's the conversation? What's the topic going on? It's still Mad Hatter, but the big topic that's going on right now on the YouTube sphere is all talking about relationship. Some people are saying they can't get a relationship. Some people are saying they're having too much of a relationship. And there's all this talk about damage, femininity, feminism, toxic man, all this nonsense and words going around. But we are going to start having a look, because I've got my own perspective. You know what it is about the Mad Hatter. I got to tell the truth. I'm going to give it to you raw. I'm going to give it to you UK style. So if you don't like it, be about your business. Because over here, we're going to do the review and we're going to get into it. So, big shout out to Kevin Samuels for this review, because he's been doing some amazing work over there in the United States, breaking down the wall, what I call the divide between men and women, which is this mindset, which is this ideology, which is this social construct that's been developed and pushed down by the mainstream media onto our women, whether they are white, whether they are black, wherever they are, whatever nationality or race or creed they are, so long as they're in the West, this mentality and this doctrine and indoctrination has been put on them. And now we're coming to see the chickens come home to roost. We're seeing it now. Before, all the blame was on the men. Men ain't this, men ain't ish, men ain't, baby daddies. I've been hearing this for the last 20 years. And then when you stop and take a look and think, is that really what's going on here? When you stop and take a look at the development of the children and what's happened over the last 20, 30 years, you have to stop and say, what's going on here? So big shout out to my man Kevin Samuels, because he's definitely turning the page. He's definitely ruffling that dirt that's been pushed under the carpet. He's definitely making sure that people are taking accountability. I have to say, he reminds me of a certain Charlie Murphy and a certain,
Bang, bang! I
That's what I'm talking about. I'm Rick James. And he reminds me of a certain Rick James. He be coming up there, giving the slap right there in this women's faces. Like, why are you stupid? Unbelievable. So, anyway, we're going to get into today's video. We're going to review my guy, my man, Kevin Samuels. And we're going to see what he's saying, guys. And we're going to give it a review on it. So, here's the video. And you know what the title of the video is, guys? The title of the video is, hold up. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. What's going on? Hold up. Right, there you go. So there we go. It says, you see the title one there? I don't know why I've got there. I've got Smile 1. Look at that. What is wrong with me? Crazy. I'm writing madness inside the title banner. Gentlemen, ladies, for old lady watchers, let me just take that out for a second and do a little on the spot. There we go. That's better. How's that? Kevin Samuels, Smile. You ain't worth a smile until. So this is a very interesting video, very interesting interview that took place. And I want you guys to watch this video and see what's going on, because from my perspective, this brainwashing, this feminist movement that has been brought and indoctrinated and pushed onto the women in the West is having detrimental and serious relationship issues. Ooh, what's my connection? Hey guys, can you hear me? Oh, I hope that connection is good, because right now my connection is doing very poorly, which I don't understand why, because everything is doing good right now. I'll just have to go with it, guys. And hopefully it will pick itself back up. So if you can still hear me and everything is good, then I'll keep continuing. But anyway, so the conversation goes that this brainwashing and this indoctrination has made women pick and choose their relationships and allow them the freedom to do whatever they want, the freedom to pick as many partners as they want, the freedom to not have families, to not have husbands, or to not have lifelong partners. They've had that decision, they've had that choice, they've had that opportunity, right? So by that same token, when they've had that choice and they've had the opportunity, then they should have the responsibility that comes with those things, right? They should be able to take on board the responsibility that comes with those things, which is what's perplexing me, rather confusing me, because they don't want to seem to take responsibility for the things that they themselves have actually done within their own life. But let's see anyway. Let's see this video. Let me not get too much into it. You know how the Mad Hatter gets. I start talking, I start ranting, I start going off into a one. But let's draw it back.
I've had it with your whining and bumbling.
Sorry, Skeletor. Let me put my whining and bumbling back in. All right, fellas, let's go into it.
I cannot say what's wrong or right.
My ultimate disagreement is that, Black women are vulgar, and we come across as like not wanting to have any unity with the Black man. We don't want to submit or give a Black man any authority in our lives, and we're, fighting and challenging the Black man constantly. And I don't think that that's necessarily, what the real issue is when we come across as being vulgar. In my personal opinion, I've had people tell me that I come across as unapproachable just simply by the way that I look.
Hold on. Yeah, hold on. Skeets up. Let's take a step back. She just said a whole bunch of stuff. She said, I disagree. This is what she disagrees with, that Black women are vulgar. That's what she said. She said she disagrees that Black women are vulgar. So the premise of Kevin's show, for those of you that don't know what Kevin's show is about trying to get better outcomes from men. And at this point in time, he's had 4 years of talking to men about how they can improve their life and improve themselves to be a better man and put themselves in a better position to be able to gain the things that they want out of life, including relationship, finances, etc. Now, he's focusing on the women. And obviously, because Kevin is of the African-American persuasion, he's now focusing more predominantly on his community, and nothing wrong with that. You see what I'm saying? But what it seems to be transpiring is that the women of this community don't seem to have a very serious problem when it comes to relationships, keeping a man, and building families and communities within their respective communities, which is very something that needs to be looked at. But every time we try to poke the bear, look under the carpet, peek behind the curtain, a whole bunch of stuff raises up. So let's look into it. Let's see what's really going on. But let's scratch the surface. And as more and more Kevin is peeling back the layers of this onion, and tears are coming to the eyes of so many people because of the revelations and revealing of the fact that everybody's messed up. But there seems to be one group of people out of every group of people that has not had their bad behavior scrutinized, examined, called out, put under a microscope, and held to account. What do we mean when we say held to account? What do we mean? Accountability, an obligation or willingness to accept responsibility. It affects the processes of resolving disputes, conflict resolution, agreeing upon courses of action, an issue of resolution, planning. It also affects the process of bargaining for collective advantage, which deals with planning, negotiation, and contracting, and crafting outcomes to satisfy various interests. So taking accountability by definition is an obligation or willingness to accept responsibility and affects the processes of. Now that's one definition. Another definition for accountability is the obligation of an individual or an organization to account for its activities, accept responsibility for them, and to disclose the results in a transparent manner. Honesty. It is related to responsibility, a duty or obligation to satisfactorily perform or complete a task that one must fulfill and which has a consequent penalty of failure. But she says she disagrees. So let's see what she disagrees with. Point number one, she says black women, or modern black women, let me change, come across as vulgar. But she disagrees. Vulgar. Not having or showing good manners, good taste, or politeness. Relating to common people or speech of common people. So now when you hear black women or modern black women are called, especially these type of black women are called vulgar, she says she disagrees. Well, let's see. The second point she mentioned, she says she disagrees that modern black women don't want to be with black men. She disagrees that modern black women don't want to submit, meaning that they do. And she also disagrees that modern black women don't want to give black men authority, which is incredibly surprising. Because all I've ever heard growing up, especially coming from this particular community, is I don't need no man. I can do it all by myself. And so what is she talking about? Is she taking accountability for her actions? Let's see.
Hold on. Who are you basing this off of? What the women think or what the men say?
What men say.
Then if you base it off what the men say, you would be in agreement. The men say exactly what I just said. No, ma'am. The men are unequivocal. The men are saying, this is what you're doing. And what you're basically trying to say is, well, it's a misunderstanding.
I agree. Yes.
No, it's not a misunderstanding. Please explain how it's a misunderstanding when you say your ass as a woman to a man. What's the misunderstanding?
I feel like not necessarily verbally saying that, but I feel like a lot of men just feel that if a woman looks a certain way, or I've had me smile beautiful, and I feel offended when a man tells me to smile, because like sometimes I might be in pain or something. Hold on, man. Okay. I'll have the conversation with you, but you're gonna answer
When a woman says something, you've heard a woman say something like that. I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Yes.
Okay, what does it mean when she says that? She's not really saying, she doesn't mean.
You know, I know the fact that Kevin is talking about, I'm a whoop your behind, but she just said something very profound about talking about smiling, and okay, he's gonna come back to that. Let's see.
She means it probably.
Okay, then what's the misunderstanding?
There, at that point, there is no misunderstanding. I'm just defending my own perspective when I've been told that I'm unapproachable because I come off that way. When sometimes it's just me just having a stale face. And I think that maybe sometimes it's not that women
you gonna make this whole conversation about you?
Yes.
We can't.
I find it very interesting that she's able to say that. First of all, she's making the conversation about herself. And this is what a lot of these women try to do, guys. So, guys, you need to be paying attention when you hear this in the conversation, because they like to change the conversation and make it about them. The moment that a person makes the conversation solely about them, they make the conversation subjective to their experiences. It becomes anecdotal. You cannot challenge what they're saying in a particular sense, because what they're saying is based off their own personal experience. And because you were not there for their personal experience, that conversation is null and void. So the point is a moot point and it's not worth anything. But she's going to come with her own personal experience and give us the breakdown of what she's experienced from her personal experience. And from the get-go already, you can see in her eyes, in her mouth, in her tone, it's kind of like, you can see already there, because she's saying she don't want nobody to approach her because she's having a bad day. Are you having a bad day every day? When your face look like sour apples and sour grape, it's like, what do you want to say? You know what I'm saying? When you got face looking like Skeletor because you're just upset because something happened, it's like, what are you gonna say? And we've seen this happen time and time again growing up. So fellas, all the brothers who are under the age of 30, you need to understand this is not nothing new. This is not something new. This has been going on for time. And we're going to talk about how you can avoid it, how you can get around it, but you need to be aware of it.
Do that because you can justify everything you do.
I can.
Yeah, but guess what? It ain't about just you. But let's take the point you made, since though that's how y'all want to do, make it all about you. If somebody told you to smile and you said you were what, offended?
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Because it's like, why is it such a demand for women to, well, especially for Black women, to just always look a certain way? Like, why can't we just naturally be whatever we feel?
You got so I want to get this clear.
What?
Someone just says, "Hey, smile," and it's offensive to you?
I mean, for the most part, it just comes across as like,
she said it was offensive to her for someone to tell her to smile. To smile. Again. When I was growing up, right, when I was a teenager, when I was growing up in school, right, you used to have girls when you're walking down the street, and a girl would try to, back in the day, because girls don't approach men. Girls don't approach men to chat you up. At least that wasn't my experience growing up. So, but women would make signs and signals to overtly let you know that they were interested, making eye contact, coming into your vicinity, coming into your 360, laughing, more at your jokes, or more extrovertly. You see what I'm saying? Playing with their hair, etc., etc., etc. We're gonna go into that conversations. They will do those sorts of things to try to get your attention. Smiling was definitely one of them that was on the list. So I find it very, crazy. And we talk about, she says she disagrees that modern Black women are vulgar, but the fact that she finds it she finds it offensive for someone to tell her to smile, because when you smile, as the Madhatterrant love to say, when you smile, it makes you put a joyful smile on your face. It puts a light breeze and changes your vibe, changes your energy, changes your aura. But when you have a sour face on, like sucking lemons, like you've been licking the butt of a cat, licking it, That's not very attractive to somebody. It's not very attractive to the opposite sex. And women, your femininity is what's attractive to a man. So if you're looking masculine and drawn down and stressed out, like you just defeated the dragon in the world, then no, that's not very feminine and attractive. But she said the sheer fact that you told her to smile was offensive. And this is how far it's gone, fellas. This is how far you've allowed it to go. By allowing this simpish behavior to continue carrying on, you've allowed women to get to the point where their emotions are so taken over by them that they feel offended when you tell them something as simple as smile. Well, if they don't want you to smile at them, how would you ever even approach a woman to speak to her? Because she don't want you to smile at her. But she's not saying I don't. Well, she see, this is the trick, fellas. See, this is the switch of hand. You need to watch it. Because really what she's saying is, I don't want any man to tell me that. I only want the guys that I'm attracted to be able to tell me to smile. Well, bully for you, because you're not a mind reader, so you don't know what kind of guys she's attracted to, do you? And that's the disingenuous of what she's doing right here. That's why, listen, women like this and think like this, they have a serious amount of baggage. Stay away. Let's go into it. Let's get more. Let's see what Kevin says.
Demanding.
Yes.
Huh.
Like, what if I don't feel like smiling? What if I'm in deep thought? What if I'm listening to something that's
This is
serious
where we're at. We have civilized the world and done such a good job in first world countries to where women, in this case black women, are offended just to be asked to smile. It's offensive.
It doesn't come off as a question of asking or requesting. It's almost a demand. Smile, beautiful. It's like, can I just relax?
And this is why I think the delusion comes in, and the disconnect, the cognitive dissonance comes in, because fellas, sisters, you cannot expect. There's been this conversation going on about the especially within this community of the black community. They're saying that the black man needs to protect the black woman, and the black woman's queen, and all of that stuff. She got a baffling gland. She can birth this, that. Okay, that's cool. Even though some of that's not true, but okay, you're independent, you're strong, you're doing all that stuff. But now when it comes to having to smiling, politeness, simple etiquette, simple ability to be cordial, civil, that's now a problem. That's now a problem. This is how far we've allowed this mess to continue in our communities. And because we have not been taking the bull by the horns and taking control and establishing rules, morals, and standards as men, and instead of being effeminate and dealing with our let me not go into it. Because if I go into it too much, it's like, listen, in this society, they treat feelings like precious. And that's exactly the reaction you're getting. Since you said I don't want to smile at you because I'm deep in thought. What if I'm deep in thought? What if I'm deep in this? What if the sun don't shine and the cows don't come home? And what are you talking about? Etiquette and decency. Well, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. Definitely hit that like button, guys. Definitely subscribe. Definitely hit that bell notification. Let's get back into it. Let's meet some more.
Can you relax? And what's your relaxed face look like? Resting bitch face?
Not necessarily. Sometimes it's just.
How about this? How about if no one said a damn thing to you? What if every man just left you alone? Excuse my French. What if every man just left you alone? What if no black man said anything to you? Just ignored you? Would that be better?
No, I'd be really sad.
I think that's a healthy challenge. And that should be put up there on a TikTok challenge. Fellas, stop talking to women. Stop talking to these women and stop approaching them. If you really about your grind and you really about your game, stop approaching these women. You got to change the tide. And we don't need all men to do it. We need 10%. We need 10%, as Kevin says, to make a change in the tide. So, fellas, if you about this, Fellas, be on your grind. Start linking up with other brothers and start connecting and working together and building on your grind so that you can now be in a position where you can call the power play. Leave these women to the side, man. Leave them. Let them continue to be on the independent grind while you be on your independent grind. Come together, collaborate, work together, and start building.
Oh, so you want us to engage you the way you want to be engaged, but you don't want to engage us the way we like to be engaged. Which makes a whole lot of sense.
So men want you to. Did he slap me?
Yeah, I'll give you one too.
Because only black women are the only group of women I've ever heard that get offended when someone says smile. You know, I heard a black woman who's a femininity influencer who was talking to black women who said they want to be more feminine, who said they want to get husbands. And this black woman on her Facebook page just went and asked her black clients, her black followers, hey, just smile at every black man you see today. And they tore that woman apart for months. Think about how low of a bar you're talking about. That man didn't ask you to go have sex with him, do any sexual favor, give him some money. He just said.
And that's what the realness is to the conversation, guys. That's what the realness is, because he hasn't even asked her for anything, really. He said smile. And the fact that we're in a point in our community now where the social construct is a matriarchy where you can't even talk to a woman as a man. You can't even tell a woman nothing. And remember, fellas, it's your job to bring the standards, morals, and discipline within the community, within the family, within the household. So when we talk about community and we say there's no strong men, that's because the women raise effeminate, weak men who don't know how to instill morals, boundaries, discipline, and standards within the family structure, within the household. And because they've done this, now they're having a problem with this because they haven't raised the men which they require to be men that they will respect in order to build their communities. But they can say they can do it all by themselves, right? He's not asking for nothing. But the black woman, this black woman, and majority of these women in the modern in the West, not all black women, but women in the predominantly in the West, some of them think like this. And the majority, this is not just one generation. This is multiple generations of this cycle. Now we're in the third wave, fourth wave of this mentality and this cycle, and we're seeing the evidence of the detriment of the family structure.
Smile and you find it offensive? Huh. Wow.
Kevin, I smile when I feel like smiling. I smile when I feel like I'm in a joyous mood.
Then men should
I have a man, and I smile at him regularly.
But that's not the point. We're not talking about your man. I said if black men were just to avoid you and leave you alone because they can't predict whether or not what they're going to ask you, which is not an offensive thing. Asking you to smile is nothing to be offended by. So what you're telling black men is because you're going to ask me something that's inoffensive, but I can take a.
Now she won't smile at a man, and especially in a black man in her community, she won't smile at him. But you know, if you're in need of help and you stranded on the side of the road, what would you want that man to do? Walk past you and leave you alone? Because you don't, need to smile at men or any of that, do you? Right? Because you don't need men. And this is what I'm saying about this brainwashing that is done in this society. It's not their fault, but it is their fault because they need to take accountability for the brainwashing and listen to the media and listen to the magazines and watching the Disney. It's this nonsense and this fallacy that you don't need no man when you know strictly within a community you need a man and a woman to build a family, to build a structure, to build a community. And when we complain about the social construct of our communities falling apart and breaking apart, well, this is why. This is why. There is no matriarchal society that has sustained the test of time to present day. Where are we heading?
Offense. Black women, I gotta let you know, you guys are the masters at being offended by the inoffensive. So black men, leave women like her alone. When you see her, don't say shit to her.
Don't say nothing. I agree.
The rest of y'all, leave her alone. Don't say nothing to her. Don't say hi. Don't say bye.
Because these women are walking around where you don't realize women are walking around like this.
You don't want to offend her. You don't want to get in her space. Let her be. There she is.
Yeah. That didn't quite go the way she thought it was gonna go. She thought she was gonna come on here and talk about I don't need to smile at no guys. I don't need to put my face on when I walk out the street because people never talking about because I don't think that's a you see? What happens when you have children brought up in the family with no structure, with no morals, with no standards, with no discipline, with no etiquette? Because these words have come out of our community so quickly, and we've forgotten that we used to be a people of high caliber people, of high quality of people, a people of standards and morals and etiquette and integrity. And we've lost that. And instead, we've adopted mediocre. We've adopted low-level intelligence, low-level characters, and low-level mindset and behaviors. And we perpetuate that as if to say that is the way we should be. And that's culture. Well, it's not. Grow up. Stop it.
Does that work for you?
I mean, you're not wrong, Kevin. If you was wrong, I would tell you that you're wrong. You're not always wrong. You're wrong about something, but you're not wrong about that. And maybe, I guess, if Black women did smile more, we wouldn't come across as unapproachable. But like I was saying, there are women who just are relaxing and they're not in the mood to smile. They're not in the mood to, engage in, random men's eye contact and be, it just doesn't feel necessary to just randomly smile at every man that you see. Doesn't it come off as promiscuous?
Wow. Smiling at men comes off as promiscuous. That is a new one for me. Smiling. She said smiling at men comes off as promiscuous. Who's teaching these women? I need to find that. Who raised you? What is going on here? What? Promiscuous. Indulging in promiscuous sexual relations. That's an action. That's a behavior. Smiling does not constitute promiscuity. What school did you go to? What's going on? What? That is the most crazy, that is crazy. That is crazy.
This is reflective of the utter lack of respect that many Black women have for the overall Black male image.
And I would have to agree.
Again, I don't hear any other race of women being offended at the notion of being smiling or being friendly to their men.
Granted, but I never hear Black men tell white women that.
Oh my God!
Smile.
Suggest. Why?
They don't have to. They don't have to tell other races women because they're naturally. They smile. Shit up, man. I'm struggling to stay on the path because this makes sense to you.
And it does.
Yes.
Yeah. So avoid women like this. And if Black.
Let me just put that up one more time, family. It says vulgar. Not having or showing good manners, good taste, or politeness. She thinks that's okay.
Smile. You don't want to have to engage somebody in a cordial, friendly, polite way. Then by all means, you shouldn't have to. And no one should have to be subjected to possibly offending you. So
Massive fail.
Again, we're talking about somebody just saying, hey, smile. Not, hey, do a sexual act or give me some money. Smile. And then you turn around and say, well, I don't hear them saying it to other races of women. Learn something. Those other
What
races
am I
of women
learning from that, though?
how to get a husband.
Wow. What is she learning from that? The utter contempt and disrespect, and it's evident on their face, guys, and you guys don't want to see it. Listen, I know my black brothers, I know we love our black women, I know we love our black women, love our black sisters and sisters. You need to stop this. You need to stop this behavior, because this behavior is pushing black men away. And when you push black men away, you don't have no men left to defend you, to work for you, to build with you, to love you. This behavior is destroying our communities, and you don't want to accept this. Look at the cognitive dissonance that's coming from this woman's mind, that she thinks that it's okay to walk around with a face like that. Now, what is she teaching her child? What is her child seeing? What is other women seeing? And what are they perpetuating? This is insane. But before we get back onto the video, guys, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share the video, because, of course, this is the Madhatterrant media channel, and welcome to the Mad Hatter podcast. It's the podcast that's trying to get positive outcomes from men all around the world, whether you're in the West, North, East, South, West, Central, wherever you are. This is for you. We're trying to hit you up. We're trying to get you out. We're trying to grow you. We're trying to improve you. And we're trying to expose the mental craziness that's going on in our societies right now, because the Mad Hatter is talking to you. He's talking to you. So, and right now the conversation is about relationships and the breakdown of the relationships between men and women. That's the breakdown. That's the breakdown. The breakdown has been the delusional mindset, the game, the switch up. The snake hole salesman that sold modern women, or women in the West predominantly, mainly, solely, that they can be consumers forever and ever, and they can use the hypergamous mindset coupled with the feminist movement, coupled with the ability to still try to straddle the line of traditional values, and instead of become equal, become overpowering, overbearing, toxic. Let's see.
And keep one.
So if I'm just like, okay, and so just hear me out. If I'm just having a normal walk through the park and I'm minding my own business, a man, having a normal walk in the park as well, and he randomly says to me, smile.
Which I have done many times.
Smile at him?
Yes, you should.
Well, ma'am, apparently it's happened enough in your life to where this is becoming an issue. Because it can't be just.
And if it's happened enough times in her life where it's become an issue for her to say it, it means she has a face that's like a smacked baby's bottom. I need to get that. I need to get that clip. I'm gonna get a clip like a smacked baby's bottom, like a smacked ass. That's what I'm gonna get.
So one-off. Oh no, hold on. It can't just be a one-off situation. It's enough to where you actually decide to call into a broadcast and make it an issue. So the fact of the matter is, you walk around with a resting bitch face. If people to you, then maybe you need to take under consideration. Maybe, just maybe, the way I'm approaching men, my image I'm carrying in the world to black men is this way.
Angry?
There
you go.
What you're saying is black men who aren't related to you, or you don't have any investment in you, can make no demands of you.
I just feel like a man that I don't know, a man that I've never seen before.
So
the answer is yes.
So what you need to understand, so a man who does not know you, if he sees you getting fucked up, needs to keep on walking.
That's right.
See, this is why y'all want this.
That's right. Because this is equal opportunities. We live in an equal society right now, right? So what you would expect from men is what you're saying, that you see women, you see how dangerous the game you're playing. You've raised men with this effeminate mindset. So now, by process of elimination, if you're an independent woman to do what you want, yes, be free independent to do what you want. You don't want to smile, you don't want no one to smile at you and no one to talk to you, that's fine. You can do that too. But guess what? The same way that you can do that is the same way that when you're getting fucked up on the side of the road by some crazy boogaloo, crazy ass dude, and you're crying out for help, the same men that you do not want to smile at, that you gave a bad attitude and left a bitter taste in their mouth or a sour taste in their mouth, guess what? It's the same men that you're going to ask for help, right? Oh, no, you're going to call 911. Well, ain't it good that we have a society that is able to allow you to rely on it so much that you don't need no man, even though the number that you're calling for help is more than likely going to send a man?
No. Listen very well. Listen very well. This is when y'all talk about you want this group protection. You want a black man to step in. You okay, sis? And this all that other kind of stuff. A black man can't even ask you to smile at him for risk of offending you. So, conversely, if there's something happening to you, you need to call your man. And the men you deem necessary enough to do something for. Because just us regular black men who have no investment in, or you have no investment in, we can make no demands of you. See, that's the beautiful thing about other races of people. Other races of women of other races, men who they're not fucking can make demands of them. And the men that they're fucking can make demands of them. In the black community, the only people who can ask you something is men is doing something for you. Other than that, we can't ask you for nothing. That's why I say we can't ask you for nothing. We don't owe you nothing. Is that hard to you? Because you're the crazy one.
Let me take that back. What?
Stop right here. Ma'am, the only common denominator in all these situations is who? Go. This is why I say y'all.
And there it is right there. The common denominator in every single one of those situations is them. And when we get back to it again, it's again taking accountability. It's again, sorry, wrong one. It's about taking accountability. The obligation of an individual organization to account for its activities. What you been doing, girl? What you been doing? Who you been doing? Is the question. Walking around here with a sour face, looking like a smacked ass, looking like some cat. You've been licking some cat's butt. Stop it. And otherwise beautiful looking women, especially amongst the black community, otherwise beautiful looking women would have a face that looks like a smacked ass. I've seen it so many times walking down the street. I've seen it so many times because I'm relatively, average looking guy. I walk down the street and I'm looking at a woman and she's turning her face to look down the other way as if to say that I don't exist. And it's like, why would you be doing that if you're trying to make sure that you're giving me the impression that you don't want me to talk to you? Right? Because the signals that I grew up learning and seeing was that women made eye contact. Women give you a smile. They put themselves in your 360 in your area. You were down the shopping aisle, down one aisle. The next minute you see her pop up in a different aisle. You're like, well, how the hell she get here? Because she placed herself there. But when you have women that are not even smiling, what is the first impression? What is the image that gives off? What is the mindset? So when they say about angry black women all the time, there's always, I don't know, what is somebody's angry black women? If you're walking around with a face that looks like a smacked ass, guess what? It's not just your own counterpart, your mirror counterpart that sees it in the black community, but it's also those of other nations and other races that see it also. And an image is now formed, and as an image is formed and they see it often enough and people say it often enough, what happens? A stereotype is now developed.
Because this honestly sounds crazy.
It is, Kevin. It is.
Sound crazy.
No, it doesn't.
Wow.
Sound crazy.
Cognitive dissonance.
I volunteered for this.
We're talking about a simple smile. But the level of irrational, see, this goes deep for black women. When that black woman asked her femininity group to smile at black women, she was surprised at how vicious they treated her. And I'm going to let this play and let people come back and hear. We're talking about just a simple smile, people. Smile. But you act like a smile is busting it wide open. Oh my freaking God. Black men, do you realize this is a black woman who tells you you're not even worth a smile? and that she feels.
I mean, not every last one of them. And yes, if
Wow.
Okay, ma'am, and I take that. So if you are getting abused, jacked up, whatever, what does the random black man owe you?
There it is.
Stop slapping
There it
me.
is. There it is. No. You need a proper slap.
Why, yes,
Yeah, and then you need the Kevin Samuels slap. Because no, and that's it right there. What do the men of her community owe her? Absolutely nothing.
Who the fuck you think you talking to? Your man sound like he need to slap you.
Why you promoting violence? No.
Here. Why, yes,
Yeah, she needed another
See,
one.
what I ask you is, what does a random black man owe you if you need something from him? You driving down your tires flat. You don't know how to change it. Black man driving down the street. Does he owe you to stop over? You ain't his woman. What does he owe you?
Nothing.
Right. And if understand something, if men are looking at our women, and see, the thing is, what you're saying is not uncommon. So honestly, black men look at women who talk like you and feel zero allegiance to you. Feel like they owe you nothing because you want black men to protect and provide and everything else, and you are talking about a freaking smile.
So
That
your
is how
suggestion is that I smile more to random people in order to be.
Wow.
My suggestion is psychotherapy.
Therapy.
This is crazy.
Therapy.
Man, you said it. You don't see black men asking other groups of women. Do you hear any other race of women talking about this?
It just doesn't happen to them as much as it happens to us.
Because they effing smile.
Oh my God. Like,
What if they're not? Like,
what?
What
What
if?
if?
All right,
What if?
Research.
Oh,
get
no,
off the phone.
okay. Yeah, sorry, Kev. Yeah, sorry, Kev. I would have to agree. I would have to agree. She's met the end of the line there because she was literally going off on the next tangent, on the next random one, and she's not want to take accountability for her actions and for her behavior and the image that she's portraying when she walks around with a face looking like a smacked ass or like she licked the bottom of a cat. Instead, accountability to her was like, oh, kryptonite to Superman. She just couldn't deal with it. She just couldn't deal with it. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, I want to say big shout out to Kevin Samuels. You see what I'm saying? Because he's definitely been, bringing this out and he's brought it out. Big shout out to the Manosphere, O'Shea Duke Jackson, and all the other podcasts in the Manosphere, bringing it out. Replicant Fish, definitely love the content. Guys, don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe. You want to leave your comments down below in the comment section, guys. We'll definitely love to interact and keep having the conversation going. And tell me how you feel about the channel, what you think in your new direction I'm taking it. And we'd love to hear your feedback, love to hear your connections. And hey, till next time, guys, Mad Hatter Ranting is signing off. Yes.